All right, what's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good Saturday. I got a question for you. What happens when you put my orb strategy head to head against other random traders, literally maybe even hundreds, but in this video, probably maybe 30 or so, we'll see, because it's going to be a live experiment with you guys. 30 different styles, maybe 30 different traders versus one system. Who comes out on top? Now, here's actually the real twist. I'm not going to be allowed to use my custom indicator for this video. So the very thing that gives me like the upmost edge is going to be stripped away. All I'm going to show you is the system. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And then we're going to go back test it, and we're going to do it in a battle setting on FX replay. So we're going to use the crazy horse strategy. We're going to use shelves. We're going to use dynamic money management, and we're going to use discipline. We're not going to take any shortcuts, no crutches. And by the end of the video, I'm just going to show you, and we're going to see together if one system applied consistently can actually outperform 30 different approaches. I'm actually doing this live in my community right now. I got a random hangout going on. So if anyone just jumps in, they can join us, and that's pretty cool. So everything I'm about to show you, by the way, is inside my group. Okay, the school group is right now, just to be clear, it's $1 to join. We've had a lot of people trying to scam in this group, so I'm making it $1. It's $1. Okay, so it's not free anymore, but you get everything I'm going to show you. You get back testing, and we're going to make it to where you get a 30-day trial with our custom TMT bands indicator. Okay, so let's dive right in. Okay, we're going to hit the charts, and I'm basically just going to show you this strategy from Friday's session. Okay, this is our trade on Friday. Here are the steps. It's really, really simple. Okay, the first step, we're waiting for the 15-minute range to form. We're marking our high. Let me get the custom indicator off because you don't need that when you first start, okay? And we're marking the low. So we have a range. And the reason why we wait this 15 minutes, because a lot of settlement, bank settlement, a lot of volume in the market during this first 15 minutes. And this is where a lot of people get chopped up. So just kind of letting the market get the willies out, just get all the shakes out and just let it kind of pick a direction for the day. That's the idea, right? And then what I'm looking for, a lot of traders don't wait for this. They just wait for the break of this range here. But you can see a 5-minute candle body closes right here above the range. And what I'm looking to do is at that point, that gives me what's called a temporary daily bias. Okay, so I'm going to put a little arrow going up right here. And obviously, you can see that worked out for the day. The way that this works is very simple. When I am, let me go back on the chart so you can actually see this in real time so that it makes perfect sense to you. So this is the way it kind of looks, right? We're looking at this, and I have on the A button down here is the auto function for trading view. What that does is, watch this, when I zoom out, right, it keeps everything in my field of view. These are the trades for the last couple of days, executed perfectly. So anyways, when I zoom in, it keeps everything in view. And when I use the long and short tool in trading view, it's actually trading view automatically takes into account the volume within my visible range, which is really nice because I can just simply, instead of using like an ATR and all that, I'm just simply coming up here and popping on a long, and you can see that's where I'm getting this dimension. Now it'll give you a 1-to-1 to start with, right? But this is where I'm getting these distances, right? And so what I do beforehand, before I actually get into this trade, is I grade. A grading system for me is really important. And for any great trader, all of the greats, you study them, they all had grading systems. They never used one set risk amount. They were always fluctuating their risk based on the quality of the setup. So what I like to do is I zoom out, and I'm still on the 5-minute time frame, and you can use a 21 EMA if you don't have my custom indicator. But I turn this thing on, and I basically look back at the last, here you can see the range is already marked. So I'll go back 3 or 4 days, and I'll just ask myself, who's really in control of this market? And I have a pretty neutral stance right now in the market, even though we've been climbing higher highs, higher lows, technically from a structure standpoint, but I've had a pretty neutral stance. So I'm not putting a whole lot of weight into my setups, because even if we break the high, which is great, we're breaking the high and we have higher highs, higher lows, And at the same time, I have a blue center line. So, my regular grading would tell me, okay, in this case, that's pretty much an A setup. We're looking pretty good. But just instinct and being in this market for 8 years tells me also that we've been really choppy lately. And just the market that's the market that's been handed to us with a lot of uncertainty on what the Federal Reserve is going to do as far as interest rates, inflation, et cetera. So I've had to navigate those waters, but I don't want to get chopped up in that. I want to show you this. So this would be my entry. This is my stop loss. And essentially what I'm asking myself here is how much risk do I want to put on this trade? Now, this is the most important part. Okay. This is where a lot of people they just get it wrong. And so on a decent setup, what I would prefer to do instead of trying to just get this trade, and if price just comes down and hits my stop loss, oh boy, I'm out. How many times does this happen, guys? Right? Price comes down, hits your stop, and then what? It goes right back in your. Well, that's because you're sort of memorizing trading models instead of having like an idea for a trade. So, what dynamic money management, write this down, dynamic money management. Don't forget this. Dynamic. Okay. This is really important. Money management. This is the secret sauce right here. Okay. This is what allowed me from going from a non profitable trader to a profitable trader. And it's this right here. This is the secret sauce. So, what is dynamic money management? It's the art of being able to grade and put on the gas when things look good, lean off the gas when things don't look good. I say art because it's you're made up. There's no set rules to this, guys. I mean, I don't know if you realize this, but trading is personal and you're going to probably have to find your own way at the end of the day. But if you can at least understand your setup and have back tested it enough to know your own edge, then you'll understand what I mean. And for my grading system, I've spent thousands of hours in the market to get this grading system dialed in. And so let's say this is an A setup. I might lean on the gas and risk 2 to 3%. Now, 2 to 3% is the total that I'm going to risk in this session, not just the one trade. Okay, so to break this down really easily, essentially, this temporary daily bias direction gives me confidence to hold my position. And since it's a higher quality setup, I'm not just going to get out at the stop loss. I'm actually going to create what's called an invalidation zone down here. And that's going to be outside of the bottom of the orb, outside of my bands, and with a little bit of distance. I don't want to get faked out with a tap down here. It's happened before and then reversed. I'm going to stick to my guns. And what I'm going to be able to do here is if price runs against me, I can ladder my orders. Okay, so watch this. If price were to turn against me here, I can ladder my orders with a defined risk and a stop loss that is well defined based on my range, not just based on, separation of, this is not an equal separation. A lot of times it's very different, meaning this isn't a ladder order based on price. I want to be very clear. Like it's not an equal distance of orders separated equally. I hope that makes sense. If I got one candle coming down here and wicking me out, just one candle, then I'm out of the market. I never added to my positions. But the way that this goes is if market were to pull back and close under my center line, I can add a position if it meets everything on a checklist that I have. And if it closes beyond this outer band to the bottom and runs against me, I can order a second position. So I can have up to three positions per session. And so it sort of starts with this idea of, okay, well, look, if your stop loss is like here, right? Where is your take profit? Because we don't want a negative risk to reward in this scenario. We don't want to put ourselves at too much risk, and we definitely don't want a negative risk to reward. And by the way, I want to be very clear. This is the ladder order model. This is only for A setups. You can do it on B setups. I strongly recommend you don't do it on C setups. But essentially what we're doing is, let's say we have a news catalyst, things are looking good. The high time frame bias, the low time frame bias match up, and we break the high of the orb. Everything looks good. You need to lean into this position and have confidence, and then trail. And we trail using something I'm going to show you in a second. But the point is that if price were to go against us, we would hold to our guns, adding responsibly. And then once price pulls back around, guess what? We're holding our three positions. And then we can deleverage. We can do some things in here. The creative part of dynamic money management allows you to be a little bit more flexible instead of looking for these sniper entries that people just get wrecked on, to be honest. And that's why A lot of times trading just won't work out for you because you're just going to get paper cut after paper cut. This allows you to not hold your trades for too long if you're wrong. Okay, that's very important. You don't want to hold your trades so long when you're wrong. And then when you're right, you just take a tiny little profit. If you're that guy, you need to look what I'm doing. Okay, if you're the guy who's taking a tiny little bit of profit, and then when you're wrong, you're just holding, you have hopium basically, then you need to pay attention here because this is very important. This could change the way you trade forever. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating. So very important that, we look and see that, okay, maybe, who knows where we're going to take our profit? We don't know, but maybe this happens. And if this does happen, we're adding to our position if it's a good setup. Now, this was a good setup. And a lot of times when you have a good setup, guess what? Good setups get rewarded quickly. So what happened here was very simple. Price ended up playing out. I'll go ahead and play out price for the day. It ended up pushing up, finally breaking structure here. Okay, you'll see it push up and continuously making higher highs for the day and eventually getting to a really nice profit target where we would be essentially following this. I'm going to show you the shelf method, how we can follow price action here, very, very simply, even on this 5-minute time frame. But essentially, the shelf method is very simple, right? You're waiting for price. You don't have a set TP level. We're not going to the left and looking at made up liquidity targets that, you think are going to get hit. That is not going to make you profitable, guys. Like all that stuff is just made up. You don't know where liquidity is at on the chart. It's so goofy. But I do see the value of paying attention if you're a swing trader to, higher time frame, like let's say session highs and lows or daily highs and lows. I see the value there, weekly highs and lows, your monthly highs and lows. It's just the thing is you get so wrapped up in that you forget what's actually important. And that's structure, that's momentum, that's fundamentals. It's a lot deeper than just high time frame liquidity targets. So here you can see that we were following price up and then you get this dip. Well, guess what? I would have gotten out right here. This is our out based on the shelf method. I'm going to show you how that works. So you first have a shelf. A shelf is the last swing, and it's the last swing that was broken, okay, by structure, by price action. And you can include the fair value gap. It's from the candle body. Let me zoom in on this so you can see it. It's from the candle body right here. So this is the last swing to the wick. So here's the wick, the highest wick, but it includes a fair value gap if you have a gap. So here's your fair value gap. So it includes that. So this is a shelf. It never got tapped. Price moves up, breaks structure here. So this is the high. And if you're going from a wick, it would be over here. That's fine. You can go from the wick. I don't really care. I go from the body, but that's fine. So this was not a shelf. And then what happened is price created another shelf right here. And you remember how I told you it goes from the wick, right? From the candle body to the wick. So there's the wick. And if I bring this over, you can see the price move through, creating this shelf. So this would be the shelf. And then it retested the shelf to move higher. Once it retests the shelf, we're clear to now put our trailing stop inside the shelf. Once it moves higher, this is our next consolidation zone. I know I'm going a little fast, guys. Everything is in my school group if you want to know the actual training on all this, but it's very simple. And at the end of the day, it's good for you to know. Consolidation, just a little pullback, breaking the consolidation, move this up inside the consolidation range, and then price finally taps out right here. And so you're pretty much getting the wick on a higher time frame. So let me play this out. And you can see that was a pretty good move right there. That was the rest of Friday. So we start out with this concept that, maybe for the day, we start out with this kind of negative risk to reward idea that, look, if price were to just come down here, yeah, I could definitely, if we don't know how much price is going to push is what I'm saying. So instead of having it, let me put it to you like this. Okay, this will be better. You can start out with all the positive risk to reward that you want. That does not mean that you set it and forget it. So let me give you a scenario, okay? Just so this makes sense. Say I start out with a positive risk reward of 1 to 2, okay? Here's my trade, and this is price action right here. So here's my trade, and price kind of runs against me. It's doing this, right? Here's my trade, and price does something like this. Boom. Okay. You see that price break structure here. Let's just say hypothetically, you see price break structure here, and it's getting towards the end of the day. Are you going to close that trade early or not? Sometimes you have to, especially if you're trading like a prop account. So guess what this becomes? This becomes a very you're not getting your full, 1 to 2 risk to reward, and sometimes you're just closing at break even or down here. So don't be fooled with the guys that tell you you always have to have or start out with a positive risk to reward. What you really have to focus on even more than that, in my opinion, is having an idea and then structuring your trade in a sense that if you are to ladder order, right, that you're doing it in a responsible way. You've already figured out the math. And what this allows me to do is this is how I've had so few losses this year, just get so many wins. If you're winning like 70%, 80% of the time, you're going to be in a much better headspace. Like the guys that have, scalping strategies, they're lucky if they get a 50% win rate. I'm not dogging on them. They're dope, cool, right on. Do what you do. But this allows me to have way more freedom in my trading, and I can just grow an account way faster. So how do we apply this now? Like without the indicator, right? How do we apply this? Well, now we're gonna have some fun. Okay, I'm gonna take you over to um, this is FX Replay. I don't know if you guys know about FX Replay. It's probably my favorite backtesting software that's out, and they came out with this new thing called battles. So check this out. So if I go to battles, right, um, we can just find a battle and jump in and battle other players. It's pretty cool. So like, let's see. So here's like one, you can't beat me. 32 players are in this out of 50. It started 48 seconds ago. I could trade NQ. Let's see, time limit is an hour. I don't want to be in this battle for an hour. That would be too long of a video, but I could hop in here, basically, it's got parameters here. Let's find a different one. Let's find one that's like 10 minutes and see if we can do that. So here's one with a 10% profit target. Let's see. Yeah, max drawdown 20%, risk limit is 0. I don't love that. I like parameters around the risk, right? Because that makes it harder. That makes it tougher. And I feel like it's more, if you're going to do it, like have some parameters that actually makes sense with reality. You know what I mean? You can't just have unlimited risk in real life either. So max drawdown 20%, risk limit. Let me find one that is good to go. And these are battles that already started. So we're going to actually be battling other players here. So let me just find one that looks good. Let's see. 3 out of 10, 20, 10, 20. Yeah, I don't really see. Might just have to join one of these. Let's see. Profit target 10%, max drawdown 10%, risk limit 0. So you can risk whatever you want, but you can't be, your drawdown can't be more than 10. All right, we're going to join this one. We'll go with the, I thought I said NAS 1. Thought it said NAS 100 here. NAS 100. Oh, okay. It just gives me a different symbol. That's fine. Let's do it. So we're going to put it through the test in here and you'll see what happens. So right now, how many players are in here? We've got, oh man, we've only got 3 players in here. That's okay. So again, max drawdown 10%, daily drawdown is 10%. So we can't go past 10%. And then the profit target's 10%. It should be actually pretty easy to hit with rules like that. So let's go ahead and see if we can just clean up real quick. These guys, they don't know who's joined the room. I'm in here all the time, guys. Mike Trades Daily. I'm going to be putting some videos together showing you other videos about how to backtest correctly using FX Replay. I really think it's a strong platform. But anyways, here's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for that first 15-minute range. Okay, we're going to do more fluid trading in here. So you see what that looks like. We've broken the range to the upside. So my daily bias is long, right? So in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We're going up until we if we break the other side of the range, like that's called a flip day. And I'm probably going to, turn on the gas the other direction. I have a $10,000 account. I'm just going to go with buys and sell orders here. I'm going to start with now I actually need to look at sizing because I think this is lots. Let me just see real quick. I got to look at the sizing. Like what's 1%, right, of this move? That's going to be 3 lots is 1% right here. Okay. So that tells me that I want to be safe with my trading. So I probably, instead of 3 lots, I'm going to start with just 1, right? So here I would buy 1 and let me show you how this would work. Here we go. I'm going to go kind of fast. It is a battle, guys. So, now this pulls back to the center of orb a little bit further. So I could potentially add to my position here, which I'm going to do. I'll add to my position. We should, in theory, we should break to the upside and keep going. If it's a flip day, I'll manage that appropriately. So bottom of orb, I'm going to add one more. Okay, play it out a little bit slower right here. Okay, now I have some creative things that I can use. So I can just look here. I'm not even up like 1%. So just looking at the sizing, this might be I'm just getting used to the sizing with this. I don't usually trade NAS 100. So this is interesting. I'll probably cut down a little bit right here. Hold the bottom trade, see if I can get this top trade to break even, close that one. Now I just have this bottom trade, which is a really nice position. So I'll go ahead and start trailing. Okay, we'll take it. So that was just 0.4. Then the leaderboard's up here. You can see 0.7 was what we took on that day. All right. I'm going to go to the next day. I was a little bit choppy. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to go a little bit faster. So stay with me. Okay, there's the 15. Okay, kind of pushing up. Okay, we break to the upside. Another day that looks a little choppy to me. I'm going to go ahead and increase risk just a little bit to 2. Okay. Okay, pull down to the bottom of orb. Let's go slower. Okay, just pulling back up. Okay, down to the bottom of orb. Kind of breaking the bottom of orb now, right? So I definitely do not want to stay in that trade. I'm going to go ahead and increase my risk to 4, flip. And we should get a nice little push. Okay, going to go a little bit slower here. Now I'm going to pull out the trail. Get a little bit tighter. Okay, just a little bit tighter. I might be too tight. Yeah, it's a little too tight. Just making up for that loss. Let's move to the next day. Couple flip days in a row. So I know with a couple flip days in a row, I'm bound to not have a flip day pretty soon here. Okay, there's a 15. Looking for the break of the range. Okay, there's the break of the range. We're looking like we're going up for the day. Okay, I'm going to back off my sizing to 2. See what happens. I'm going to let this play out. I'm not going to add a position. We've had a couple flip days in a row. I want some nice momentum up after this momentum down here. If I had my indicator, it'd be even better, but all good. We should be able to break those highs. Nice. Okay, I'm going to pull this out. That's into really dipping into Asia session here. I probably wouldn't even be trading right now. I'm going to close this out just to be extra fair with I like to back test the way that I would forward test, but that's into London. It looks like there's maybe a holiday there or something. I don't know. I don't have time to look at it, but let's keep moving. What are we at? All right, 1.79. Again, fluid trading. You can notice I don't even have a stop on, I'm not saying to trade like that. I always have a stop in my trade, but it's just for this back test, you got to kind of go fast. I'm just showing you guys the fluidity of it. So we broke the range to the downside. We're going down until further notice. Okay, now we broke the range to the upside. So I'm going to be closing out this position, be increasing my sizing here. Okay, moving up and see what happens. Okay, there's the break to the high. Very nice break. Just got to be patient. Into our next session here. So I'll be closing out this position. Okay, nice. And guys, some people say like, okay, well, I wouldn't be trading London. And I'm with you. But at the same time, like, I don't care about sleep. When it comes to my money, I don't care about sleep. I've traded through the entire night just babying a trade, because it was ripping before, I don't really care about my sleep when it comes to making money. So that's one of the parts of being disciplined. Like when duty calls, you got to be there, man. So again, just very fluid trading, very tight range right here. Let's see, what is this range? Oh my goodness, 11-point range. Okay. And yeah, I have like a custom setting in here, just so you know, if you ever come in here, you go to custom settings, start of New York session, and I just pull it to my start of the New York session, which is 8:30 Central Standard Time. Okay, so we're getting beat by Quick Bear right now. So I'm at 2.79%. I played it very light, guys. I'm playing super, super light. We got this 15-minute range right here. Looks like we broke to the upside. We kind of turned around. There's just such a tight range. I'm waiting for her to pick a direction. I don't know. Maybe she's waiting for news or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it's, oh, there. Yeah. I think this was waiting for news or something. I'm going to go to the next day. It's kind of a weird one. Oh, you know why, guys? My bad. We're trading NAS 100. We're not trading the official futures account. So that's why I'm only seeing London session. I'm sitting here like, aren't we missing some of the day? Yeah, so we're trading NAS 100, so it is going to be CFDs instead of futures, but it's fine. Same difference, man. You can trade gold with this. You can trade whatever you want with this strategy, and it's moving very similar to almost identical to the way that the futures market would be moving. Just FYI. All right, let's get this. Okay, so a little bit of a sell opportunity potentially. Okay, we're gonna hold. Holding. I'm gonna add to this position. Let me make sure here. Did I look at the right? Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, gonna go a little slower. Okay, we might close up. I think we're gonna close to the upside. So I'm gonna close these positions. And what time is it? It's 12. We still got time. Okay, putting on 4. Nice uptrend here. Might break down. Let's see what happens. All right, break. Oh yeah, there's the breakdown. I kind of was feeling that she was going to break down. Oh, okay. So it's honestly just putting me right into the London session. So that's a little tougher. I never trade this. That's a it's kind of a weird thing. Let's see here. So at this point, we're out of trades. We don't need to worry about that. I guess it just ends the trade. So I don't need to worry about any of that. Okay, we're breaking to the upside in London. Let's go to New York. And let's see what happens here. Okay, 15-minute range is forming now. So let's see, that's 45. So we've broken the high. Okay, cool. Okay, increasing to 4. See if we can get a runner. Okay, nice. Again, this is time too, guys. Like, notice the time that we're spending. Like, that I'm, like, you be on the charts. Oh, no. Well, I would have won that last trade. But anyways, because the match ended was on a time limit, went ahead and took the podium. I guess Quick Bear had some losses. And we would have definitely crushed that last trade too, would have been golden. So there we go. So let's exit this. I'm going to find one more battle. Was it luck? MNQ, 2 out of 7 players. This is great. 2%. Look at the max drawdown. 2%. Super tight. Here we go. So this is a very tight, this is more realistic for like a prop account. Again, 30 minutes here. I'm probably not going to spend 30 minutes. I'll just go ahead and trade for a minute and show you a bunch of setups, just like we did in the last one. And then we'll call it okay. All right. So weird. There's like no volume. I'm going to go the next day. No volume that day. All right. Here we go. Maybe there was some news. All right. Breaking to the upside. So we're going to go ahead and we got $100,000 account. I'll probably start out with 5 micros. This is perfect. Here we go. And this is showing that you can only risk, you can see here, you can only risk 1% per trade. So that's kind of nice. You know, that's pretty cool. So here we go. 5 micros. So we got 0.3% on the dash so far. 0.7. We'll go ahead and start trailing. Nice. Okay, so we locked that in at almost 1%. Keep it moving. Go to the next day. Cool. So this is it, guys. We're just following. All I'm doing is waiting for that 15-minute range to break. And then from there, this is most likely going to be a long. It's most likely going to reverse right here. Another thing that you can do, if you have candle patterns that you're very familiar with, you know, this is what I think price is going to do. But there you go. I'm not going to trade that in this back test because that's not fair to the back test. But when you know certain candle patterns, you have a high likelihood of them playing out. Okay, waiting for this break in one direction or another. It's waiting on news or something. Here we go. Here comes news. Probably the FOMC statement or something. Looks like it. 1 o'clock. Let's see. What was this? Yeah, FOMC minutes. Okay. All right. Minutes look pretty good. Looks like the market's pulling up. We're going to go long. Okay. Protect my stop. Oh, yeah. Protect my entry. It didn't do anything. Okay. Let's go long one more time. Okay. It's the end of the day. So, yeah. London Bridge going up. Probably going up, but let's see. Is London Bridge going up? Let's protect this and see. Oh, yeah. She wants to take out those highs, doesn't she? Not going to ride it. We'll go to the next day. Okay, here we go. Waiting for that first 30 minutes. And you can see it. That's the 15-minute range right there. Like you can see the volume very clearly. All right. So this is most likely going to break high. I'm going to wait for one more. We're going to tack on our first trade. This is looking really nice for an extension higher. Yeah. Okay. And extension higher, just trailing. I'm not lining out all the shells, guys, because that would just take forever. Oh, nice. Very nice. I gave it a little bit more room right there. All right, we'll tag it out right there. 1%, move on to the next day. Let's check the leaderboard real quick. Yeah, so we're 2.2% up. I mean, I could just cruise with this right here and probably just whoop everyone's butt because I'm not looking to get big plays. I'm looking to have these nice little, 1% days would be great. If I can average 1% a day, I'm crushing it, and you're going to have those days where it doesn't go your direction. So you got to factor those in too. But yeah, 700, 8. I'm trying to trail. You guys see how much more profit I'm getting from trailing. Hopefully you're seeing that, because if I just had like a set place to take profits, it would be all bad. Now, here's another thing I want to show you, and it may or may not work out, but I want to show you. So from swing point to swing point, this is about halfway. We have a fair value gap. We have a shelf down here. So let me line this out. So this is a point of interest for me, right? And so what I'm going to do with this trade is a little bit different. And again, I want to show you some versatility. This is something that's very, if you've studied some of the greatest traders in the world, this is something that is taught. And basically, you're just wanting a little bit of this move. You're not caring if the move continues. You just want a little piece, right? And so you can have a tighter stop. You can have a tighter, and it's just like for this particular trade right here, I'm going to just show you. We'll just go with like a 0.5% and just be a quick 1-to-1. Let's see what happens. Okay, cool. And I bet you this hits TP. So I'm going to play this out. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so basically you're just getting a little piece of that move. You don't care. Like, it could turn. It doesn't matter, right? You could have a runner there. You could do a bunch of other things, but something else. I'll just show you the versatility. And, I've learned a lot of different styles of trading. My mentor had different styles of trading himself. So this is a huge range, right? And so knowing that, I'm going to take my 5, I'm going to reduce my sizing a little bit here. Okay. That puts my stop loss in a nice safe place. See if I can get a little bit of money out of this. If she starts to V-shape, which looks like she's going to recover to the highs right now. Let's see, break a structure. That's nice. Maybe get a drop now. Okay, we'll get out of this trade. Just a little bitty win. That's fine. Okay, let's move on to the next day. Again, I'm just seeing this range immediately. I know I'm going a little fast, guys. Sorry. I'm just showing you the fluidity here of what I'm doing. Okay, that's a nice pull down. We're about a 0.5% up. So I'll go ahead and start trailing. When I get a pull like this without any structure, I mean, unfortunately, this does mean my stop is more likely to get hit, my trail stop. Yeah, it's more likely to get hit if there's no structure. Like, once it forms structure, see how it's got a little bit of now, this would be your consolidation range, right? And so, if she breaks this low, no, she doesn't. So that was a good out. But when she gives me a nice pull, I mean, I'm going to take the money. Here we go. Same concept, but the opposite direction. Here's swing point to swing point. There's 50% right there. So, take a tiny little sell. See if I can just get a drop here, just a little bit. Not. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of a drop. I'll take it. So just baby win. Again, showing you a little something different, so versatility. You don't want to do that all the time. There were reasons for that back here. I kind of lined that out in the last trade as well. Let's keep it moving. Huge drop. We got a data wick high. Data wick low has been taken, so I am aware of those. We're breaking the orb to the high, so looking to maybe just go long and get that data wick up there. We're about a 0.5% up. Actually, not quite, because we've grown the account a little. All right. Well, shelf right here. We're in upward structure. This is a weird thing to trade right here. Very weird thing to trade. I'll wait for a pullback. We get a pullback, more of a pullback, I'll take it long. But yeah, it's just that's a weird thing to trade. I'd probably just skip that, man. Okay, cool. On to the next day. I know a lot of guys who get chopped up with that type of stuff. Okay, 15-minute range is there. Waiting for the break. Breaks down. Okay, continuing this move down. That makes sense to me. See if it follows through. Okay, lots of volume. It's probably going to take out the highs now, but I get a pretty good risk reward here if I sell. So let's see. Okay, takes out and flips. So I'm going to be flipping. 3 goes to 6. Let's go ahead and increase. And if we don't hold that, we end up right back in the range. I gotta end the position. Oh man, I did not. For some reason, it doesn't. I'm missing those. Okay, there we go. Very nice pull to the upside. We can just end that right there. That's $1,000. That's 1%. I know I lost a little bit more than 1% on the last trade, but I'm not looking to just make it up all at once. 3.79%. So this 1% rule that this person has on this battle makes it extremely difficult to grow. You know, I mean, I would already be at like 20 to 10% by now, 20%, you know what I mean? But I'm not allowed to risk more than one. So it keeps you in a box. It's very difficult to grow your account that way, but also I like the discipline there. I think it's good for you. All right. So guys, I hope that you got a lot out of this. Hey, I'm in first position. Maybe I win this one as well. But yeah, and I went to this little park earlier. They had the PGA of America nearby, and they had the Jurassic, animatronic dinosaurs for my little ones. So that's why I got the T-Rex shirt on. So, but listen, if you want to learn more about the strategy, the link is in the description. Right now, it's $1 to join. You get my back testing, you get the indicator for 30-day trial, and that might not be out just yet, but we're going to do it very soon. You'll have access to it. So you pay the dollar. I'm going to get you access in about a week. I'm going to give everybody access to the indicator, and you just go back test this for as much as you want. We have yet to have somebody come in, back test, like anybody, learn the system, back test, and then show us that the results were negative. We've had people show negative results, but then they were doing it wrong, right? So we've never had anybody do it the right way and show a negative result. So the proof is in the pudding, man. We've had thousands of back tests at this point. Probably more than 5,000 trades on this strategy have been taken. Me personally, I come in here, I'm in first 99% of the time. If I'm not in first, and I've only been playing on this for like maybe a week. Okay. But I think it's super cool. The FX replay is what I'm talking about. And I think it's something that can level your trading game up. Just find that time. Today's Saturday. You see me. This is what I'm doing. It's just for fun, right? Sharpen the blade, baby. Okay. Happy trading week. I hope you guys crush it. Smash the like button, subscribe, all that stuff. I love this stuff. This is what I'm going to continue to do. And I'll continue to bring you value. Let me know if you got value in the comments. Peace.